Okay. It says we're live. It says we're live, baby. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to bring you this Crystal Palace against Manchester United preview. Joining me today is my friend, the homie, Ash Burns. Ash, how you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, mate.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm happy that I really am happy you're here, man.
Let's go.
We're gonna have a good time. So, Ash, let's start off first. I want to throw it to you. Give me a little bit of your thoughts about what's going to come up in this game.
I mean, last one now, between now and March, I think is the next one. So I think it's going to be a feeling out process. I think it's going to allow the team maybe to get back into a keeping now. We need no more mistakes, no more disruptions with international breaks and so on. We need to hit the ground running, especially with the Champions League coming midweek as well. Yes, a lot of people say it's an easy tie, but we still need to concentrate. We know the group is still not. I think he's going to field a strong 11, which I expect. I don't expect him to rest anyone for Tuesday night, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be tough. I expect us to get the win, but I think we will be cause some problems, especially with some of the wide players that Palace have got. We know they've got qualities. We know that Hans has been to attacks and to conceding goals. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a free flow, but I expect us to get the win.
Yeah, I completely agree. So real quick, so there are a couple people asking it because you had a couple of voice breaks there. Just so you guys know, Ash is on that Welsh internet. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. So, I mean, for the most part, everything you said came through, man, just so you know. But
good.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. In the Premier League era, Manchester United have never lost to Crystal Palace. In all of the Premier League era, we have drawn to Crystal Palace before, but we have never lost to Crystal Palace. That should tell you everything you need to know. This should be. I mean, and here's the thing, and it's unfortunate. Under Mourinho, and Ash, I don't know if you necessarily agree with me, but under the current Mourinho time that we are in, I have zero faith and zero confidence that Manchester United will win any game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And it's frustrating because ultimately this should be a game. It's a walk in the park, but end of the day, and it's especially against these bottom sides that I almost get even more nervous because I feel like we down tools almost, and we just even though and I guarantee you, like you said, I guarantee that we're gonna field a strong 11. But I'm still nervous going into the game because I don't know how Mourinho's side is going to go out and go do.
Yeah.
And that's so frustrating. Now, ultimately, I'm going to predict a win too, but we could get into that a little bit later. So real quick, Ash, we're going to go ahead. Let's talk about some of the danger men for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Because, they've only got a couple, but they still do have a couple.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. You're the guest. You're always going to get to go first.
Well, as I said, I think down the flanks is where they're going to cause us the most problems. I'm not sure about fitness. I know Zaha is fit. I'm pretty sure that came out today that he's been cleared to play against us. So obviously he's going to be number one. I think he's, since leaving United, I wouldn't say he's elevated his talent. I mean, he was always a talent. I don't think we used him in the right way, and we didn't use him enough, in my opinion. He's got qualities. He's quick. He's direct, and he's going to cause. If we play the likes of Ashley Young at fullback, he's going to cause him problems. It depends which side he plays. I'm not sure. You've got another one in Andros Townsend. He's another one, very quick, very direct. Great left foot on him as well. And it's. These sorts of players, I don't know who they're going to play up front, whether it's Benteke or Punchin plays or, they're not great players, but, they're players that will trouble our defence at the moment because our defence is terrible. I think another one is Van Aanholt as well at left back. We saw it last season, I think it was, where he scored against us, made a great run down the left-hand side. And Milivojevic as well. He's always solid in the middle for Palace. usually steps up in the bigger games, makes his presence known. So there's sort of 4 or 5 I think will and could and probably will cause us problems.
Yeah, and I agree because and here's the thing, and it's something we could probably talk about here in just a second. But I mean, obviously, I've only got 2 true danger men. You throw the quotes around that, but Zaha is the obvious one. I mean, he's somebody that a lot of people have been talking about recently about wanting to bring back to Manchester United. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I can see why he's succeeding at somebody like Crystal Palace, but I mean, ultimately, if he came back to United, would he ultimately succeed? I don't know. So, I mean, which, by the way, real quick, so he says, remember Benteke's wonder goal on Martial's debut. I mean,
the overhead kick, was it, I think?
Yeah. So, I mean, in reality, between Zaha and then the only other one, because Zaha has 3 goals, and then Milivojevic has 2 goals this year. Everybody else in their team only has 1 goal, and they've only scored 8 goals total this year.
Wow.
So, I mean,
that's like 2 more than us.
Seriously, at least it feels like it, right? But just genuinely, this is a game that should be a walk in the park. But funny enough, I'm expecting something like a 2-1, a 3-2 kind of match. I don't trust a Mourinho defense right now, which ultimately also comes down to the fact that he also won't attack like we probably should, having such a poor defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's surprising. It really is. I mean, and that's something we should talk about here. I mean, we talked about 4 or 5 different people. You talk about 4 or 5 different people that could be danger men. We're Manchester United. Ash, I mean, why are we talking about how many people could be a trouble for us against a team that has never beat us in the Premier League era?
Well, I think I've been saying this for a while. It boils down to a lot of Mourinho's style of management, his ethos. He's always been a very defensive manager. And, you've got to hold your hand up and say he has been successful with that in the past. It's worked. He's broken down some of the best teams, attacking teams in the world with his solid defense. But for his style of football, this squad does not suit him. He has always been heavily reliant on his defense and a ridiculously solid defense, and then catching teams on the break. And you look at that defense, we are not defensively sound enough to play that style of football. To get the best out of this current crop of players, we need to play attacking football. Not just because that is the Manchester United way, of course it is, but to relieve some of the pressure off that weak defense. And we've got the attacking players. You look at Lukaku. All right, he's having a terrible vein of form, but he can score goals if you give him service. Alexis Sanchez, we all knew he was one of the best players in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago. Yes, he's not had a great start. Likes of Anthony Martial, unbelievable talent. Rashford's got talent. You've got Jesse Lingard in there as well. Juan Mata, stick him in the number 10 position. He pulls the strings everywhere. So you've got these players that you can build a team around. And really push, attack every team that comes to Old Trafford, or every away game you go, attack teams, because it takes the pressure off the defense. Because at the moment, teams just know how to play against us. They know. They sit back, they allow us to sort of pitter-patter around the midfield, not really causing much problems. And when they get the ball, they attack us direct with pace, and we don't know how to deal with it. So we're really predictable at the moment, and we need to flip this ethos. We need to play attacking football.
Yeah, and listen, Ash, I completely agree with you. And the fact that right now our defense is, quote the quotes around it, poor, even though this is literally the same exact defense that Mourinho had last year. Yet for some reason, last year it was good. This year it was poor. First of all, it makes no sense to me, which is also the reason why I've stopped buying Mourinho's bull crap that he's selling. Yeah. But also you get into it. You look at the attack that we have. You look at the players that we have. We have Paul Pogba, who's somebody that when he gets into his attacking positions, I honestly don't know of any other player that is better than him, because he knows where to be inside of the attack at all times. It blows my mind that we don't allow him to get forward more. You got, like you mentioned, Anthony Martial. We've got Marcus Rashford, Alexis Sanchez. I mean, even Romelu Lukaku, who is a Mourinho boy, is struggling this year.
Yeah.
And the fact that we are not trying to go against these teams and try, and you see it in the matches, even in the Newcastle match that I went to, when we actually go at a team, nobody can stop us.
Yeah.
And it's been proven time and again that when we go at a team from the time, and it's from the time that we start actually going at them, teams can't handle our attack because of the creativity that we have. Then to me, it doesn't make sense that we continue to try and sit back and take on other teams' pressure, especially against a team like a Manchester City that beat us right before the international break. I don't understand taking on the pressure like that. It's frustrating for us fans because we know who Manchester United are.
Yeah.
We know what they're capable of. And yet for some reason, we continue to just struggle when we try and just sit everybody back. And it's almost like, and it's something that I've noticed, and especially when we start trying to sit back even deeper, that it almost feels like the players stop paying attention because they're expecting somebody to be behind them almost.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. But there's a couple people that have commented here, which, by the way, Chris McTeague said excellent comments from whoever the guy is that's talking, and then Mr. McFadden made sure to shout you out. So then Michael Hubbard, Jose opened up against Spurs, and we all saw what happened. Listen, Michael, that game also, you look at that Spurs game, not a lot of people were complaining after it. We lost, but ultimately we lost trying to go at a team.
Yeah.
I don't know of almost anybody that complained after that match. Yeah, we lost, but we lost going for it.
Yeah.
So somebody's bringing up Jose lost his right and left-hand man, Rui Faria. He was actually the man during training. And that's a fair point.
Yeah.
But, I didn't think that Faria would make this big of a difference in terms of our defense. That would make you think that Mourinho is literally doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't understand that. But so Ash, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into who do you think is going to be the starting 11 for Manchester United tomorrow?
So we're going for what Mourinho was going to pick.
Yeah. So in fact, we'll do that. We'll do what Mourinho will pick, and then let's do what. Then after we both give what we think Mourinho will pick, we'll do what we would pick and how we would play the game.
Okay, cool. So I think it's a given that David De Gea is probably going to start in goal. I reckon it's going to be an interesting one at right back. Is Antonio Valencia fit? I don't know. I think he is.
So my understanding is that everybody is fit and available for this match. At least that's what I thought I heard from his press conference today.
Okay, that makes things easy. Okay, I'll go Valencia then. I'll go Chris Smalling, Victor Lindelof, and Luke Shaw as the back four.
Okay.
And then I'll probably go for midfield. Obviously, Nemanja Static is going to play there. I think probably Paul Pogba will play there as well. And then possibly, who's going to play there? Oh, well, why not chuck Marouane Fellaini in as well?
It makes total sense to throw all the Giants out there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then up front, I reckon Romelu Lukaku will probably take his place back. Anthony Martial has to continue his form because obviously we want him to be that player to score in 6 consecutive games, only done by Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, and Andy Cole, is it? I think.
Yes.
And then, I think so. And then we'll go with...
And real quick, a bunch of people did throw it out there in the live comics. Luke Shaw is not available tomorrow because he is on the compilation of yellow cards.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. So I'll go with Ashley Young at left back then and Valencia at right back.
Yeah, Young is the obvious one to go over to left. So.
Yeah. So, and then, front three of Lukaku, Martial, and Mata. That's what I think maybe it'll happen.
So, and that's honestly, I'm going to be relatively similar. So, I've got De Gea in goal. That seems pretty obvious. For some reason, I've got a feeling that Mourinho is going to play Dalot tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I hope so.
Dalot is fit and ready, and he's able to come back. So I don't know why. I have a feeling that he's going to play. And it's also because ever since Antonio Valencia liked that Instagram post about Mourinho being gone, he hasn't played since. So apparently he's on Jose's shit list now.
That's good. Okay.
So I'm going to say that Dalot's going to play on the right because of that reason. And I'm going to go with the same center back pairing of Smalling and Lindelof. I don't see Mourinho changing it up yet, even though, and we'll talk about it in our lineups, even though I think it should be different. And then I'm going to go with Young on the left.
Yeah.
And then I'm going with the same exact Static, Fellaini, and Pogba in the midfield 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go with Martial on the left. I'm actually going to say that Mourinho's going to go back to his boy, Lukaku up top.
Yep.
Then he's going to go Lingard on the right.
Okay, yep.
So, which by the way, so it was so Doug threw this out there, and I know that you just brought it up. But so Martial will become only the fourth player in United history if he scores tomorrow. Scored 6 straight games, like with Cantona, Andy Cole, and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Oh, and then Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool.
Fantastic stat there. But so I mean, I could see honestly, I could see both lineups happening. I could see him playing Valencia because he's going to want to throw out that strong team. But I could also see him kind of holding back to low until the young boys game.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you know what, Ash? Let's go ahead and let's go to what we would do. What would be your starting 11 tomorrow against Crystal Palace?
What I would like to see, definitely, obviously, David Gea in goal. Diego Dallo at right back, 100%. We need to bed him in. He's young, he's hungry, and my God, he can cross a ball. Something we have not got in the squad. So I actually go at centre back, Smalling, and I want to see Eric Bailly back in the squad. I want to see him back. And then I would have went with Luke Shaw, but obviously, being as he's suspended, we'll obviously have to stick with Ashley Young. I've gone for a midfield sort of 3. But 2 line a bit deeper. I've gone with Fred and Pogba and Juan Mata just in front of them, sort of floated in that number 10 role between the lines. And then up top, I've got Sanchez up front. Hopefully, he's maybe gained a bit of confidence after the international break, getting a couple of goals. Anthony Martial on the left. And I've actually gone for Jesse Lingard on the right. Because I just think he's maybe links things a little bit better than Rashford and he's a little bit more composed. So, yeah, that's what I would go for.
Well, I mean, honestly, once again, my lineup isn't going to be too far off from that. So I would go with I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. De Gea's obviously got to be in goal. I mean, I would honestly, if De Gea didn't ever need to be, I'm never taking him out of the lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally play him every game.
Yeah.
Then Dalot on the right. I would do Bailly and Lindelof as the center back pairing. I feel like that should be our center back pairing.
Yeah.
Like, not even a question. Then because Shaw isn't available, and same with you, I would play Shaw on the left, but obviously he's not available, so Young is going to be on the left. I would play a midfield 3, especially for a game like this tomorrow. It'd be very appropriate to play Pereira at CDM, and then Fred and Pogba as the 2 midfielders.
Yep.
And then I would play Martial on the left. I mean, honestly, you can't even drop Martial right now. No. If he was to drop Martial, for any other reason besides being hurt, then I would honestly, I think people would riot.
Yeah, they would.
The man's he's been doing incredible things. And then I would play. I'm like you. I would play Sanchez up top. Like we saw how he interacted at playing as that lead striker kind of guy in those couple of games that he did. And the way that he plays off of people is so much better than Lukaku.
Yeah.
And so I would play Sanchez up top, and then I would play Rashford personally on the right.
Okay, yeah.
But it's for basically the same reasons. I feel like Lingard and Rashford kind of offer the same thing. Yeah. And it's something I've actually been talking about quite a bit on the show recently is I feel like right now with Rashford, he almost reminds me of Lingard in the way that he plays. Yeah. And they both make good runs, but ultimately they result in nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and I see you put it out on Twitter all the time, but I mean, Rashford I feel like his footballing brain isn't there yet.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating because we all love Rashford. We all love the kid. And it's frustrating that he can't get out of his own way at Manchester United. Because we all see him do it for England too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know why he does it for England, but I mean, I don't know. So I mean, real quick. So Matthew says that his hope would be for De Gea, Dalot, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Pereira, Fred, Pogba is a 10, and then Lingard, Martial, and Sanchez. You know, and I like that lineup too. Playing Pogba as a 10.
Yeah.
So I mean. I think that ultimately there's no reason Manchester United should not be winning this game, no matter who we run out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I know that. So I mean, it's something I wanted to talk about with you, Ash, because it was very frustrating to listen to Mourinho's comments today about. Like, and here's the thing. There are some people that have been defending some of what he said, and some of his things were, in a sense, quote unquote, misconstrued. But he brings the youth players like Martial, like Rashford, like, I mean, honestly, you could go down the list. Luke Shaw, he even threw Luke Shaw under the bus, who has saved his butt time and again this year. I mean, what is the point of even bringing the names of the players that have like Martial has literally kept Mourinho in a job in October.
Yeah,
I mean, literally kept the man in a job in October, but yet he still feels the need to bring up his name. Why? Like, I
think it's almost as if, because I think he really wants the plaudits for Martial's form and the form of Luke Shaw. I mean, we don't know. I mean, for all we know, he could be the sole reason that Luke Shaw has improved so much and Martial has, hit a vein of form. But the thing is, we've seen it before. Before Luke Shaw's leg break, he was the best left back in the league, in my opinion. Martial, when he came to the club his first season, he had a storming first season. We've seen he can produce there if he's given a run. Yes, he had a little bit of a dip, but again, he's still young. So, I mean, it seems that Jose Mourinho thinks that these players need a certain type of, motivation or maybe a bit of a kick up the arse. I don't know what it is, but I think he seems that this is what's best for them. And I think he came out and he said about Luke Shaw, didn't he, the other day, about how he didn't know how to compete and all this. And I think maybe that's he's trying a little bit too much tough love with certain individuals. And it's frustrating that he's not named the individuals who've consistently underperformed this season. Obviously, like you say, his boys, the likes of Lukaku, the likes of Nemanja Matic. And it is frustrating because they're the ones ultimately who are going to get the game time because Jose Mourinho has a certain amount of trust in them. And they may listen to him more, but they've got 10% of the talent, some of the other lads in the squad, which is frustrating. I can see where he's coming from because he's been under a lot of scrutiny this season so far, Mourinho, and he needs players. If he's trying to look after himself, obviously, and if he wants to do that, he needs players he can trust. And I suppose the likes of Nemanja Matic and Marouane Fellaini, they are going to run through brick walls for him. So I can understand that, but ultimately, that's what's best for him and not what's best for Manchester United, which is the frustrating thing.
Well, and funny enough, when I heard these comments, and I know Michael brought up the fact that he was asked what are the problems when he was arrived, and listen, and I get that, but at the same time, you don't need to bring the names of players that have literally saved your butt this season.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it. Like this is, I'm honestly starting to believe because Mourinho said when he came to the Premier League that his goal was to destroy Manchester United.
Yeah,
I'm starting to believe Mourinho's a snake. I'm starting to believe it because you make comments about Martial, who's already on the fence about signing a new contract.
Yeah,
and you bring up the fact that like De Gea right now is questioning whether he should be signing a new contract.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like he's literally like just. It feels like he's trying to cause problems at Manchester United. Yeah. I feel like he's succeeding on his goal of saying he wanted to destroy Manchester United.
Yeah.
Like, and I just don't understand how people are continuing to back what he's doing because I'm looking at the way that he's going after certain players that really have no business being gone after. I mean, and it doesn't make sense. Yeah. I mean, the man is I don't know if he's like lost a screw or something like that, but like he doesn't take responsibility for anything, and that's something I feel like we as humans and individuals, if we were to if we have to own up for something, we own up to it for the most part. Like because ultimately, especially if we were in that position, like if you're in a managerial position, if something happens, it's on you.
Yeah,
and. I feel like he is not owning up to any problems that are going on at Manchester United. And that's what's frustrating to me and to us, like, because I know that you've ultimately, I know you kind of held out a lot longer than I did about being Mourinho out. But I mean, I've been Mourinho out since January of last year. It's like, or, I mean, it was, I guess it would be 2018. I'm sorry, I've been Mourinho out since January 2018. It was because a lot of people became Mourinho out after the Sevilla comments, but we kind of talked about it. What made me Mourinho out was Draughty put out a Dream 11, and it included a lot of young players like Pulisic. It had the likes of Chong in it. It just honestly, it was a lineup where I looked at it and I was like, Mourinho would never play this, and this is something that Sir Alex Ferguson would have done.
Yeah.
And that's where I ultimately became Mourinho out. Was when I was like, listen, the guy's not owning up to, like, and not owning what should be is Manchester United. But I mean, we do have some good comments in here. I mean, Chris McTeague, he said exactly what manager that had any care about the club would create unnecessary problems with a talented player and discussions about a new contract. It's like he's trying to force Martial out. Exactly. And then in his most recent press conference, he was very tight-lipped because he said that they took it out of context. I mean, and Michael, that's fair. I mean, he was a little bit more tight-lipped in this in the like pre-match press conference, but I mean, like I said, I don't understand what's the point in even bringing up any players right now that have literally kept you in a job. I mean, Pogba and Martial have kept Mourinho in a job, and yet he's the one that is continually trying to push Pogba and Martial out the door. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. But anyways, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into wrapping it up a little bit here. So, yeah. I mean, give me your prediction for the score, and then give me your prediction on how the game will go ultimately.
I think it's going to be 3-1 to United. I think we'll start slowly. I think we'll grow into the game. I think Crystal Palace will score first. Or at least I hope they do, because if it invokes the sort of, the reaction that we've had after we've gone behind. But no, I think we'll sort of slip into gear then. We'll put the forward to the paces, and I think we'll cause Palace some problems. As I said, yeah, slow start, build to the midfield, and I think second half will come out swinging. Frustrating, yes. We'd like to see him, go at Palace from the first whistle, but you know what Manchester United like, that doesn't happen. But yeah, 3-1. Fairly comfortable in the end, but we'll work hard for it, I think. Yeah,
I mean, and with how poor Crystal Palace have been this year, I mean, they're tied for the last position basically. Just they're out of relegation by goal difference right now. So I mean, ultimately, I think the game is going to be 2-1. I'm going to go with the exact same thing that you said. I think that ultimately they're going to score first. Yeah. But it seems like we almost need the other team to score first because it kicks us into gear.
Yeah.
So I think that Crystal Palace will score first. I think we'll start off the game trying to sit back like we always do for some reason. Which is funny because like the last couple of games, he's actually like started off the first 10 to 15 minutes where he hasn't really been sitting back. Except for the City game. In the City game, he literally sat back from minute 1 to minute 90. And you could tell the players were told, don't even bother. But anyways, that's besides the point. But I think we're going to sit back at first. I think that they're going to put in a good ball over the top of us. I think they're going to score. And I think from there, we're going to take off. I think we're going to win the game 2-1. I at the very least, we'll get a draw out of this. With knowing that Crystal Palace have never beat us in the Premier League era, I'm going to say that's going to continue. I don't see it happening. Ultimately, Manchester United have the talent and the determination to be able to get past a team like Crystal Palace. At least they should. And if they don't, then if you lose to a team like Crystal Palace, I mean, granted, I'm not confident in the board to do anything because I don't think they have the balls to do it. But if we lost to Crystal Palace, that's a game that Mourinho should be fired, especially coming off of an international break.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for it. So, I mean, granted, a lot of people, like Chris said, he'd sack him right this second. I mean, I would too, but ultimately, we've got Mourinho. He's here. I don't think that he's gone until after the holiday season, at the very least. But end of the day, we'll see how the match is going to play out. And honestly, it's going to be interesting either way because coming off of that loss against Manchester City, I mean, that was possibly one of the most frustrating games to watch as a Manchester United fan.
Yep.
So, I mean, we'll see how the match will play out. But guys, this has been a fantastic preview. Ash, I mean, are you going to be able to join me after the game?
Was it Saturday? But I mean, possibly, yeah. I'll see what I'm doing.
I know it's the midday game, and technically you guys don't have the game. I know you don't. You would never be able to find a stream to watch that.
I know I don't do things like that.
No, who would ever do anything like that?
Come on, pirates.
But I mean, as long as you're able to join me, I mean, I'll make sure that we'll get you on again because I might need talking down.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but Ash, it was absolutely fantastic to have you join me, man. I mean, I've already got. By the way, follow at Ash Boyo, ASHBOIO. It's in the description below. Be sure to follow him. But besides that, is there anything you want to shout out, Ash?
I don't think so, man. No, just keep doing what you're doing, and let's hope, let's pray that we get some positives out of the rest of the season.
Hey, amen, dude. Amen. Let's see what we can't pull it out. If we can't pull this out, but Ash, again, thank you so much for joining me, my friend. Just thank you so much, guys, for joining us live. It's been really fun to continue to do these, and just I love you guys so much for continuing to just support the channel. Be sure to drop a like on your way out. It's much appreciated. But guys, you know, let's hope for the win tomorrow. And again, you know, I love you guys because you guys help me get through these too. But God bless you guys, and hope you have a good night, a good day, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Keep doing you because you guys are awesome. Have a good night, guys.